What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Johnny K Picks. And in this video, I'll be going over the much highly anticipated UFC 300 Pereira versus Hill. First things first, before we get started, please hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new, or if you just haven't yet. Turn on the notifications so you know when I put out my videos, when we do our live streams, all that stuff. And leave some comments below on your favorite fights. There's a ton of them, because a lot of these are going to be really, really good. Leave some comments on how you did last week. I know there was a lot of terrible judging in this last card. We'll go over that real quick, but helps out the video a ton. Also, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/JohnnyKpicks. I put out my early bets for all UFC cards. I put out my spreadsheets, like time props, for just betting. Also do soccer bets, NBA bets, football bets from here time to time too. So definitely check that out. $5.99 a month if you're interested. If not, you can become a free member as well. I do give out free stuff too. So anyways, so last night was UFC Vegas 90. Let's go over that real quick and just get that out of the way so we can get to the good stuff. But it was a pretty crazy card. To start out the night, we had Nora beating Mullins, and yeah, I mean, kind of a sloppy fight in the beginning. I had Mullins to win. I thought she would get those takedowns. I don't even think she got a takedown, but Nora was able to get that knee to the body and get the KO. So good win from her. Next fight was Cesar Almeida versus Budka. Cesar just survived all the takedowns and got back up. He has a pretty good get-up game. Takedown defense, though, is not great, but he was able to out cardio Dylan because he did take this fight on short notice and he looked gassed after the first round. So got the KO. Good win from him. Matsumoto versus Argueta. I will say this now. I had Argueta bet. It was looking good in the first round, and then until it wasn't. And I still do not understand how fighters, when they hear the clicking for 10 seconds, they should know to survive whatever situation you're in and do not tap, do not give up. And I mean, I know Argueta kind of went out, blah, 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 but he did tap right before he did, and he knew he probably had a second left. So, well, anyways, I'm just complaining about it, but a good win from Matsumoto. He did look good. He did survive all the wrestling and grappling early from Dan, but I will not be betting or picking Dan anymore. I will tell you that, unless it's against somebody who's going to gas. Hugo versus Pedro. Good win from Hugo. Again, Pedro kind of gassed on short notice, but Hugo's not really the best fighter. He has holes in his game, but I kind of figured he was going to win this fight, so I had to bet on him, so that was good. Norma Dumont versus Jermaine. Norma did Norma things. She got the takedowns like she can. When she's on top of you, you're not getting up. But the striking, early it looked like Jermaine was definitely the better striker. But then as the fight goes on, Jermaine didn't fight for like 3.5 years. So she did fade a little bit. Her striking looked a little sloppy towards the end. Norma got the takedowns. That's all she needed, and she got the win. So say what you want about Norma, but she wins. That's how you do it. And she's moving on up in that bantamweight division. Brzeski versus Walker. Here's where the judging is starting to get a little crazy. I actually kind of thought Walker kind of won that fight. Very close, though. No robberies or anything, but I don't understand how there were, I think all three judges gave Brzeski round one, and I don't agree with that whatsoever. I thought Walker got round one, Brzeski got round two, and round three was the close one. It could have went either way, but I think every judge gave Walker round three. It was a really weird judging card, but Brzeski got the win. That's all I can say. I mean, this is why you kind of just don't want to bet lower level heavyweight fights, because literally anything can happen. It's almost the equivalent of women's MMA, low level women's MMA. But if you ever see a low level heavyweight fight and the over under is 1.5, just play the over. It hits more times than not. Don't even worry about picking a side. Play the over. Morono versus McGee. This fight was a lot closer than I thought it would be, but good on McGee. His chin held up, because Morono was landing some pretty good shots, but Morono edged it out. Very close fight. Very close fight. It could have went either way. I mean, I'm not saying this was, I know it says unanimous there, but it was a very close unanimous decision. Let's put it that way. But good win from Morono. I did think he narrowly edged it, but, it was really close. To me, this is might have been fight of the night, but there was another one that was really good too. Charlie Campbell versus Peak. Charlie Campbell won this fight, but Peak, man, he just seemed like he gassed out in the third a little bit, and he had a chance because Charlie was, surviving. He was huffing and puffing too, but he was able to get the takedowns and control Trevor. So I like Trevor Peak as a fighter. He's fun to watch. He is not as technical as most people are, but good win from Charlie Campbell. But here's the fight that killed me. Bahamondes versus Giagos Bahamondes with the head kick in the first round. I mean, I knew Bahamondes was going to win this fight, but I just thought it was going to be a little bit later. I thought Giagos was going to be able to get some takedowns, get some wrestling a little bit, but he tried maybe once, and then he stopped and started to strike with Bahamondes, which is foolish. So good win for Bahamondes. Need to get back on track. Judging a little bit of craziness. Chepe versus Cherrier. I actually thought Cherrier won this fight. I'll be honest. Very close decision, though. I know one judge gave Cherrier 30-27, which I thought that was a little crazy, but I thought Cherrier won 29-28. Very close fight, though, but they gave it to Chepe. So very fun fight, though. I'll tell you that. But I like Cherrier. What I've seen, very good striking. He's got 10 losses. That's crazy, but very fun fight. Damon Jackson versus Alex Hernandez. Another crazy judging. Our judge gave Hernandez a 30-27, and I don't even know if he won any round, to be honest. Maybe one of the rounds that he got the knockdown on Jackson. Maybe he won that round. But other than that, like, that was Hernandez's only moment in this fight. He did not look good. Jackson did enough to win this fight and got the win. It should have been unanimous, but it is what it is. And Hernandez is not good. I will say that now. I did pick him. I didn't bet this fight, but I will not be betting Alex Hernandez anymore. Brendan Allen versus Chris Curtis. Another crazy judging. 49-46. Brendan Allen. I do not see that. I don't even think Brendan Allen won 2 rounds. 48-47 I can see, but man, I don't know. That's 4 rounds. You gave Brendan Allen 4 rounds. I don't believe that whatsoever. I actually thought maybe Chris Curtis won. Very close fight, though. Not a robbery, but not a 49-46 Brendan Allen fight. I'll tell you that. Chris Curtis was landing some good shots. Brendan Allen was able to get his back a lot, and then he gave up position every freaking time, which was like mind blowing to me. But it is what it is, and I guess they liked it. So he's on his way up. Chris Curtis got hurt at the end of that fight, and we'll see what happens with him later on. But that was it. I mean, a lot of crazy judging scorecards. I don't know if it was one judge that was doing those 30-27s, the opposite that it should have been. But I wasn't really paying attention to who was the judge. But I know one of the judges in a lot of these fights were either not watching or they were on something. So going to my picks and bets, I went 8-4 on my picks. My bets, I had 6. I went 3-3, and I ended up losing 0.91 units. So a little bit under a unit. Not my greatest night of betting. Again, I'm on a little like rut here, but I see my problem is I see my problem. I know what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to break it down even simpler. I see most of the time I see one fight I like and I think I have a good read on it. And normally lately it's been it's the opposite of what I think it is. So I'm just going to keep it simple next time. So we'll get it. So that way we're going to get back to our winning ways. Let's put it that way. So this card though is where we're going to get it back because I see a lot of stuff. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm only going to do this and that. Not going to try to be cute, not going to be fancy with my bets. We're going straight to it. Question though, how do you like this little poster? Kind of sucks, doesn't it? That's why I didn't use it for my thumbnail because it's awful. It looks like trash. But 13 fights, all 13 fights are going to be good. There might be one stinker, but that's about it. So the first fight we got Davison Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. And a lot of these fights, I'll say it now, we know who they are. I will say that. But Figgy, solid striker, well-rounded, always dangerous with his power. He's got good submissions, good guillotine. He can slow down as the fight goes on, but this will be his second fight at bantamweight. So he did look good against Rob Font with his cardio. He did have enough. He landed some good shots on Rob Font as well. So the power is translating up at the weight class. He's going to be the smaller guy here, but he is durable and throws a lot of volume, a little bit wild on the feet, though. Cody Garbrandt, though, solid striker, solid boxing, has good power in his hands, too. Good movement, good footwork. He does he can wrestle at times, but he hasn't used it lately. But he likes to keep it on the feet. Only red flag here, obviously, is his chin. Is it going to be able to hold up? All that good stuff. He does have quick hands, though, and he's going to be the bigger guy. So this is going to be a close fight, I think. And the line I think it's a little wide, but I'm going to go with Figgy as a pick. I'm probably not going to bet this fight. I just don't trust Cody's chin all that much. I do think Figueiredo is very tough. I think he can land some good shots and maybe wobble Cody. And if this fight does go to the mat, I think Figgy's fine. He's got good grappling. He can get back up. And I just don't see Cody wrestling. And if he does, he may slow down a little bit as the fight goes on too. So I'm going to go Figgy. I'm going to say decision. I do think Cody's chin can hold up, but I just think he might get knocked down or wobbled, and it's not going to look good to the judges. And I think overall, Figgy will land the better, more impactful shots to win this fight. Very close fight, though, to start it off. Next one, Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. So, again, we all know who these guys are. Bobby Green's a high-volume striker with good boxing, good hands. He doesn't really have the greatest knockout power, even though he knocked out Grant Dawson with an early jab, which was crazy to me. He keeps his hands low. He can be a little hittable at times. He can wrestle, but he doesn't. And that's Bobby Green for you. He's going to keep this fight close. He's going to stay at range. He's going to jab you to death and showboat a little bit as the fight goes on. Jim Miller, junkyard dog. Well-rounded guy. He's got solid striking, solid power, good grappling, good wrestling, good cardio. He's durable. I know he's 40 years old, but this guy's durable as hell. He can be a little hittable at times as well. And he's fought at UFC 100. He's fought at UFC 200, won both those fights. He's fighting at UFC 300. So what am I going to do? I'm going to ride with the junkyard dog here. I think the line is a little bit wide at plus 160, plus 150. I like his chances. I think Bobby Green might look good early, but as the fight goes on, Jim Miller is going to have to be a junkyard dog in here. He's going to have to try to go for some grappling, try to make this fight a brawl instead of like a technical boxing fight, because that's Bobby Green's style. He wants to make it, he wants to showboat, he wants to make it clean, nice, all that good stuff. But I like Jim Miller here. I think he gets this one done. He's going to win UFC 100, 200, and then now 300. So going with the dog, Jim Miller. I think this will be a fun fight, though. Next one is going to be, why did it jump? Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. Very close fight. Andrade, powerful striker. She can be a little hittable at times. She's always going to be the smaller fighter. She does push forward. She likes to be the bully. Her takedown defense isn't all that great, though, but she doesn't have to worry about it in this fight. But if she can get some takedowns, too. She's got some good takedowns, good wrestling, and good top control if she's on top. Rodriguez, very good technical striker. Her power is just okay. She relies more on her precision, so she can, if she lands at the right time, she can get the knockout, but she's not some powerful striker that's going to knock you out with one punch. Good counter striking. Her takedown defense isn't the greatest, but she does have a decent get up game, and she can be rocked against power, especially against powerful strikers. The Amanda Lemos fight was a fight I wanted to rewatch for this one, and this fight's going to be close. And who do I think is the more well-rounded striker? It's probably Rodriguez, but Andrade has the style to beat Rodriguez, and it's basically going to be just like Amanda Lemos did. She needs to be the bully. She needs to push forward. She needs to make this nasty brawl, and she can land that one shot when she's in boxing range, and she can probably knock out Marina. So, like I said, very close fight. I'm gonna just ever so slightly lean Andrade. I just like her style in this fight. I think I think the better fighter is Rodriguez, but I just think Andrade's style is going to beat her, land the harder shots again. I think she can get the knockout. Rodriguez is probably going to have to win a decision, and it's just going to be very sweaty if you have a Rodriguez bet for 15 minutes, because I don't see her getting Andrade out of here. So give me Andrade to win. I think she's going to get a late knockout, maybe second or third round knockout. Next one, Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano. And Jalen Turner is a dangerous striker. Tons of power in his hands, very good kicks, sneaky submissions, more so club and sub. He's not really going to initiate grappling, but he can rock you and wrap up a guillotine or wrap up a front choke. We've seen in some fights he does slow down a little bit as the fight goes on if he gets a little crazy in the first and second round, but he is durable. Also to note, he's got a ton of finishes. All 14 of his wins have come by finish. He's been knocked out 3 times, never been submitted, and he lost every decision it went to. So just something to think about there. Moicano, very good grappler, very good submissions. He does have okay takedowns. His striking is pretty good, but he's very hittable. He doesn't move his head when he's on his at all on the feet, and he can be rocked. And he does slow down a little bit as the fight goes on too, depending on what he does. If he gets a little crazy in the first, we've seen him slow down too. So this is going to be, striker versus grappler here. I'm going to go with the striker, going to go with Jalen Turner. He's going to have the height. He's going to have the reach advantage. And I think he's going to have the power advantage. And I think he can rock Moicano. And I think he can maybe wrap up a sneaky submission. But I'm going to go Jalen Turner by knockout. I'm going to say second round. I think this fight doesn't go the distance, so you can look at the under 2.5. But yeah, this is going to be a fun fight for however long it lasts. But give me Jalen Turner by knockout. Next one is going to be Sodiq Yusuff versus Diego Lopes. So Sodiq, he's well-rounded. He's good striking. He's got good volume. Takedown defense is pretty good. He does have some wrestling he can use from time to time, but he probably wants, keep this one on the feet, let's be honest. But he is durable. In his last fight against Barboza, I guess he got hurt, so he was looking good early, and then you saw the tide shift, and I think that's when he got hurt. So take that for what it's worth, but, he did lose that fight. He was, in some of these fights he won before that were against lower level guys. Diego Lopes, very good grappler, very good submissions, good sweeps, good transitions when he's on the mat. On the feet, I mean, his striking isn't bad. He does have power. He did knock out Pat Sabatini, but that's not saying much because Pat Sabatini's chin is pretty dusty. But like I said, he does have power. He can be a little hittable on the feet. I expect him to try to initiate some grappling because I do think Sadiq's striking is better. So striker versus grappler here. I'm just going to go with the more dangerous guy. And I like to go with the striker usually in matchups like this, but the more dangerous guy to me is Diego Lopes. On the feet, I think he can get a knockout or get something crazy. Or on the mat, he's definitely going to be more dangerous. And if he does get this fight to the mat, he's going to have crazy submissions. So I'm going to go with Lopes. I wouldn't be shocked if this fight does go to decision. So that might favor Yusuff, but I think Lopes can win a decision as well. So I'm going to go with Lopes to win. I'm going to say by submission. I'll go first or second round submission, I think early on, but the later this fight goes, it might favor Yusuff. So this could be a good live betting spot if you want to, but just see how it goes. But I'm going to favor the more dangerous guy, and I think that's Lopes. Lopes, whatever. Next one. This may be the stinker of the card, but we'll see what happens. Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. So again, we all know who Holly Holm is, pioneer women's MMA. Very good striker, but lately she hasn't really shown a lot of that. I kind of hope she does in this fight. She's very good in the clinch. She's super strong. She's got pretty good takedowns. She's showing off a little bit of her wrestling, more so than her striking. When she's on top, she does have good top control. Her cardio is good. She is durable. I know she's 42 years old, but she does have good movement, lateral movement around the cage. This is going to be a big cage, so that's something to think about in this fight. And she hasn't fought in a while. She hasn't fought in about 8 months, which is not too bad. But Kayla Harrison, though, she's going to be making her UFC debut, but she's fought in PFL forever. Very good wrestler. She's got good takedowns, a good judo. Striking, though, not the greatest. She does have power in her hands. I mean, you could tell. Look at those biceps right there. If she lands, the cardio as the fight goes on, she does fade a little bit. She has fought in 5-round fights before in PFF, but let's be honest, most of those fights, if they go over 2 rounds, she's barely surviving. And she really hasn't fought great competition other than Pacheco and PFL. And I think she's fought Pacheco like 2 or 3 times, but every time Pacheco and Kayla Harrison fought, Pacheco's gotten better and better, and Harrison kind of just stays the same. So Harrison's not really evolving. But she is good at what she does. And another thing to note, Kayla Harrison has only fought at 155, guys. This will be her first fight going down to 135. And that's a crazy, and this was just 4 months ago. She fought Aspen Ladd at 150. That is a pretty big red flag. So I wouldn't be betting this fight until you see the weigh-ins, but I talked to my wife. And if you know me, and I've talked about this before on my shows and live streams, my wife is a huge Holly Holm fan. And she told me if I did not pick Holly Holm, that she's going to be very mad at me. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to take a shot on Holly Holm here. And I know it's crazy, but hear me out. Holly Holm's fought very good competition. I know she's getting older, and that's fine. But if this fight gets out of round 2, Holly Holm is going to be the fresher fighter. I think she can stuff those takedowns. I think she can outland Kayla Harrison, and she's pretty strong herself. Holly Holm's no bum. So just a crazy underdog pick here. I'm just going to go with Holly Holm. I think this fight will go to decision. I don't think Kayla's going to be able to submit or ground and pound Holly Holm. I don't think she's going to be able to knock her out on the feet. So Holly Holm by decision. I think it might be close. Why not? This line is wide, very wide. And if you're going to rely on Kayla Harrison to not be gassed out at 135 after 1 round, another live bet potential spot here, I'm going Holly Holm. I might be the only one this week, but I'm doing it. The wife says so. Next fight, Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. This should be a fun fight. Kattar is a very good Kattar is a very good boxer. He likes to push forward. He throws a ton of volume on the feet with good power. Very durable, but he can be hittable as well. But if you look at the numbers, most of those numbers have just came from the Max Holloway fight. Max Holloway threw at like 400 strikes and he hit Calvin with like 300 of those. So, but he does have very good takedown defense. He is coming back from a leg injury or a knee injury from the Arnold Allen fight about 1.5 years ago. So he can be a little rusty here. So we'll see what happens with that. Aljamain, though, very good grappler, very good submissions, as we all know. If he takes the back, it's pretty much going to be game over. He's got a very good rear naked choke. His takedowns, though, aren't great at all. He has to work and work and work to get a takedown, and he does it all the time. His striking is a little, it's not bad, but I wouldn't say it's amazing. It's a little unorthodox, but it is pretty decent. He does have pretty good cardio, and he is pretty durable, even though he just got knocked out by O'Malley. But that could have been maybe an early-ish stoppage, but it is what it is. This is a close fight, striker versus grappler again. I'm going to go with Kattar to win this one, actually, as an underdog. I think he stuffs the takedowns. I know he's going to get a lot of takedowns, or Sterling's going to go for a lot of takedowns early, but as the fight goes on, I think Kattar's going to get those takedowns or stuff him a little bit easier and easier, and he's going to land the better shots on the feet. And I like Kattar. I don't think Sterling's going to be able to take him down, to be honest. I really don't. And that's the main reason why I'm going with Kattar here. He's going to be the better striker for sure and land the better shots on the feet. So give me Kattar to win. I'm going to say by decision, just outlanding Sterling, landing the better shots and stuff in the takedowns. I don't trust Sterling to get those takedowns that he needs. Now, can he jump like against the cage? Can he jump on Kattar's back? Sure. But I don't see it. And I'm just going to go with Kattar as an underdog. I like him a lot. Next one's going to be Yuri Prochazka versus Alexander Rakic. And again, one of my wife's favorite fighters is Alexander Rakic because he is Serbian and she's Serbian. So throwing this out there before I say that. But Yuri, crazy striker, throws a lot of spinning attacks, keeps his hands low, elbows, knees, very hittable on the feet, but he is durable. Keeps he has shown a little bit of wrestling and grappling as of late, but he's still a little bit green in that aspect. But like I said, his advantage is just the unpredictable. He's just you just don't know what's going to happen with his uppercuts. Knee, like I said, he's just a crazy unorthodox striker. Alexander, though, very well rounded. His striking is very, very technical. He's got very good leg kicks, good kicks in general. He can wrestle as well with good takedowns, good top control. Very durable too. I know he got injured about almost 2 years ago now in the Jan fight. But sometimes he can be a little low volume too, so that's a little worrisome. But again, I'm not just going with the wife's pick. I do like Rakic to win this fight. Like I said, I think he's the more well-rounded technical fighter. He can take this fight to the mat. I think he'll be okay on the feet. Yuri's just the wild and crazy guy. And Rakic, like I said, he's pretty durable. And he's only been knocked out once and subbed once in his career. And I like Yuri as a fighter. I like watching him, but it's really hard to pick and bet him because he's just too wild and crazy. He leaves himself open for takedowns. He leaves himself open for crazy shots, and he just eats them, but it doesn't look good. And going with Rakic, I know the layoff is a little worrisome, but again, I just think he's the more technical striker. And even if he's a little rusty, like Yuri's easy to hit. He doesn't block anything except with his face and his beard. So give me Rakic to win. I'm gonna say by decision. I just think he's gonna get some takedowns as the fight goes on to land the better strikes, more control time. I mean, Yuri's always gonna be live for a knockout, but I just don't think he gets this one done. And Rakic is just as big as Yuri. So it's not like Yuri's gonna be a massive guy. So I just favor the more technical, well-rounded fighter in this fight. Main card, we got Bo Nickal versus Cody Brundage. We all know where this fight's probably going to happen, but Bo Nickal, very good wrestler. He does have very good submissions from on top. His striking, that's the question mark. Is it getting good? Is it getting better? We don't know. He hasn't fought in about 8 months, so he could have been working on his striking. A lot of his wins have come in the first round. So I think that's something to think about too. Cody Brundage, I think he's getting fed to the wolves here, but he's got some power in his hands. His striking is just okay. He's hittable on the feet. He does have okay wrestling and takedowns, but I don't think he's going to want to wrestle here because I do think Bo Nickal has him covered by far. He's given up a couple times in some of his fights. He's not really the greatest fighter. He likes to jump guillotines, his terrible fight IQ, blah, 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 blah. We can keep going on and on and on. I know he has a couple wins stacked up, but the only win I would say here is this slam knockout against Zach Reese was a good one. I'll give him that. But he was losing this fight against Jacob Malkoun badly. He wanted to quit a million times against Cedric Dumas. This is just he was looking good until he wasn't. And then he got knocked out by him. Yeah, so that's Cody Brundage in a nutshell. Give me Bo Nickal. I'm going to say first round submission. That's all I'm going to talk about this fight. Easy peasy. All right, guys. This is what everyone's been waiting for. This is my fight of the night. People's main event, probably. Maybe. I hope. Because I think this fight's going to be crazy good. And if you know me as well with Charles Oliveira, I have 2 different breakdowns that I always break down. I always do my personal bias breakdown, and I also do my non-bias breakdown. So I will start out with my biased breakdown here. Charles Oliveira is going to win this fight. Hear me out. I just like his striking better. And on the mat, I think Charles grappling is way crazy good. And not every fight, but there's been a lot of fights that Armin's been rocked. And especially in the Silva fight right here, he got rocked. And I'm surprised he kept coming forward with that, because that was a pretty big hit. And Charles throws some heat. And I think he gets the KO in this fight. I think Charles' striking is better. And if Armin does go for some takedowns, I think Charles will, he'll be fine. I think he'll be safe. He's going to work off his back, try to get the submissions, maybe get back up. But that's my biased breakdown right here. But Charles Oliveira, non-bias here. Amazing grappler, amazing submissions, very good striker with tons of power. He's good in the clinch with his knees and elbows. He always pushes forward. The only knock on him, sometimes he gets a little too wild and crazy. He can be a little hittable at times, but he's been knocked down, but I really feel like he does that on purpose to, that's what he does, but it is what it is. But Tsarukyan, though, he is well-rounded. He's got good wrestling. His striking is pretty good. Durable. He's got good cardio, all that good stuff, but he is hittable, and he does get rocked. And again, this is my non-biased breakdown. I'm going with Charles Oliveira to win by knockout because of that. I think Charles' striking is very good. And it's I don't want to say underrated. I know people think his striking is good, but I just think people overlook it. And if I have to hear one person say that Armin is basically like Islam, and that's how he's going to win this fight because Islam was able to knock out Charles Oliveira, you are crazy, because Islam is way better than Armin Tsarukyan. And maybe we didn't know it at the time when Charles and Islam fought, but I kind of know it now. Islam's good. His striking is very good too. I don't think Armin is that good. Not as good as Islam, let's put it that way. So give me Charles Oliveira to win. I even got a shirt for Charles Oliveira right here. You look at it, pretty sweet. Like it. Going with my guy, Charles Oliveira to win. And at these lines, 1 plus 185 for Charles Oliveira, forget about it. I want to see someone lay the chalk on Armin Tsarukyan this week and say that you're confident to put $250 to win 100. I want to see it. Show me the tickets. That's crazy. Crazy. BMF title fight. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. This should be a fun one. Gaethje, very good striker with power. He's got good boxing. He's got good high kicks. He could be a little wild and crazy at times, but very hittable on the feet. He does have good cardio. He is durable. He does have the wrestling, but he never mixes in the wrestling. Ever. And maybe this is a fight that he could and should, but I don't think he's going to. Max Holloway, if Volkanovski wasn't in the featherweight division, he'd be the featherweight GOAT more than likely. But at least that for the time being, not overall. Let's put that. But amazing striking, amazing boxing, throws tons of volume. He doesn't really have that KO power. If he's gonna knock you out, it's gonna be death by 1,000 cuts. But like I said, throws ton of volume. Super durable. Has never been knocked down in his UFC career, which is insane. He can be hittable at times though, but he does have cardio for days. He's got very good takedown defense. So fun fight. Now, do you go with I think Max Holloway's striking is more technical, but I just think Gaethje has more power, and he's always going to be live for a finish. I believe this fight is going to be 3 rounds. Let me look real quick. No, it's a 5-rounder. Okay. This is a 5-round fight. And I thought it might have been 3, but it makes sense because it's a BMF title, whatever. Yeah, this is a close fight. I'm going to go with the dog, though. I'm going with Max Holloway. I think in a 5-round fight, I think I think he can outstrike Gaethje, and as the fight goes on, Gaethje's going to slow down a little bit. We've seen in some of these 5-round wars that Gaethje's been in, he just slows down and he's very hittable. And Max Holloway is not going to slow down. I've never seen Max Holloway slow down in any fight, at least recently within the last like 3 or 4 years. So, give me Holloway. He's the younger guy. I know both these guys have been in war, so you can't tell me one guy's hasn't been in a war and one has. So both guys have been in wars, but Max Holloway's chin has yet to be cracked. I'm going to ride that chin all the way to decision. Max Holloway wins. And these underdog, like the price, I think this is wide. Again, this is wide on a 50-50 fight. Max Holloway for the decision win. I like it. Co-main, Weili Zhang versus Yan Xiaonan, or Xiaonan Yan, however you want to say it. Zhang, super well-rounded, very good striking, good power. She's showing a lot of bit of wrestling lately, which I like. Good ground and pound. She's got good top control. Other than her 2 losses against Rose, like she's been dominating everybody. Dominating. And that last fight with Rose was very close. She could have potentially won that fight. I think she is evolving. I know she's 34 years old, but she has been evolving since those 2 losses. And I see it. Yan, though, she's also evolving too. She's looking good. She's a very good striker, very technical. On the mat, you know, she's not really known for her a ground game, if you want to say. Her takedown defense is just okay. She definitely wants to keep the fight on the feet. And this is where I think Weili has the edge here. I think she can take this fight to the mat and she's going to be night and day better. Good ground, top control with ground and pound. We've seen Yao Xiaonan get ground and pound knockout by Carla Esparza. You know, it was almost 3 years ago, but it's not a good look. And Weili can do something like that. And on the feet, I think it's very close. I mean, you can argue one way or another. I see that, but it's not like it's night and day one way. But on the mat, though, you got to give it to Weili. So I'm going to go with her to win. I'm going to say by decision or maybe a late stoppage. I think this fight is 5 rounds. It is 5 rounds. So that's another thing, too. This is a 5-round fight. Weili's only been fighting in 5 rounds forever. So I don't think Yan has fought a 5-round fight in the UFC at least. So give me Weili to win. I'm going to say late finish or decision I like. And last but not least, the main event is going to be Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Now, Pereira, very technical kickboxer, tons of power, death touch, left hook. We all know that. Good leg kicks, good kicks in general. Takedown defense is pretty good. I don't think this fight's going on the mat. I shouldn't even have said that, but he does have pretty good takedown defense as of late. He is improving with that side. Every once in a while, he can be hittable, but he does have a pretty good chin. He is pretty durable, and he's just a beast. He's getting up there in age. He's 36 years old. I get it, but he's still looking good. He's a monster. And both these guys, you know, they're pretty even with the size. Jamal Hill, though, very good striker too. Good boxing. He does have good power too. Crazy, or quick straights right down the middle, 1-2s, all that good stuff. He doesn't have the greatest takedown defense, but again, I don't think this fight's going to go to the mat too often. He does have a pretty good get-up game, and he's coming off of the injury, a crazy Achilles injury, I believe, and that's a little worrisome for me. And I've seen in a couple of those videos of his lately, the gut is not looking all that well. So I don't know how hard he's been training, all that good stuff, but he's always looked like that. So I'm not going to knock him for that, but it is a little worrisome. But I'm going to go with the champion here. I'm going to go with Pereira to win. I think he does. If he finds a knockout, would I be shocked? No, but I'm going to say this fight goes all 5 rounds, and I just think Pereira is going to be able to win. I think Jamal Hill has like 2 rounds to maybe knock out Pereira, and if he doesn't, I don't think this fight's going to or he's going to get a finish, but I think Pereira will be live for a knockout all rounds, and I do think he'll be winning the minutes more so than Jamal. So give me Pereira to win. I'll go by decision, but maybe a late knockout, maybe third or fourth round knockout will be the way to go. All right, kids, that is it for UFC 300. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please hit that like button on your way out. Our live shows this week will be Wednesday night on Cody's channel, I believe. And then Friday night, we're actually going to have one because it's going to be a big card. So we'll have a couple guests. That'll be fun. That'll be on my channel, too. So definitely click the notifications so you know what times and all that good stuff. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, blah, 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 blah. So hope everybody enjoys the fights this weekend. I know I'm going to. This is going to be crazy fun card, good betting spots, tons of good betting spots. So good luck to everybody. Let's go Charles Oliveira. Let's get that win. And until next time, happy fight.